And for that you should be very happy and recharged. Mind should be charged. Now let's see some of the top reasons why the IT projects are failing, especially in the Asian countries. One is like inadequate skill set. See, sometimes nowadays it happens that I commit something to the client that I will do a project using the cloud computing technologies. Now I realize that in, say, in Bangalore, cloud developers are not available, or it's very difficult to hire a cloud developer. So I should not commit on something which I cannot, which I know that, okay, this is a rare skill set. I'm just giving an example. So always try to identify in advance that whether you need a particular skill set, hire, interview, and hire those resources, and then only take up the project challenge. Don't take up something which you cannot deliver and then have a loss of faith and permanently destroy the relationship with the client. Second reason is inadequate review. See, it's not about the code review only. Overall review, like peer-to-peer review, I review your code, you review my code. Okay. Normally we try to use some tools like Find Bugs, Programming Mistake Detector, PMD. Okay. To some extent it does the review. But see, everything cannot be automated. Okay. You cannot bring a robot who will do your code review. It should be always a manual code review also. Because see, manually what you can do, no tool can do, remember. So if you don't invest your time and energy, suppose I am a project manager, I will keep 5% for code review in my project management activity. In SDLC, 5% will be kept for code review. Why? If a code is not properly reviewed, it is a disaster. It will lead to failure. Now the third thing is lack of understanding of specifications. See, most of the projects fail because we don't clearly understand what the client is saying and what he is wanting. Sometimes it happens that client himself does not know what he wants. But then only he is coming to me. See, I am a patient. I go to a doctor. See, if I know my disease, why I should go to a doctor? Because I myself don't know what is happening to me. That is why I go to a doctor. Doctor will diagnose me and tell me, Satyar, this is your problem, and not what you were thinking. Similarly, I have to tell to the client as a manager that, sir, this is what you want, and we will give that. So ask the right questions to the client. See, we all know how to ask questions, okay, but asking the right questions at the right time is important. Because we want to get some information from the client by asking the right questions. It can be by a questionnaire, by emails, by phone, whatever way, by taking an interview at the client location. Lack of appropriate procedures and standards. Most of the times we just say we are following the coding standards, but we don't follow actually the coding standards. We don't follow the SLA. We don't meet the SLA, the service level agreement. Okay, so it's very important from the beginning, make your team members, each of your team members understand that these are the procedures and the coding standards. This is the way how we will start the project and end the project. No ifs and no buts. So always set the procedures and standards and follow them also. Make your team members follow them. You might face environment and configuration issues. See, most of the times we have hardware, software, network failures, which lead to project failures. So that is why we always say invest in infrastructure. Buy good hardware. I am not saying buy a second-hand Chinese computer and then start a software company. It will never work. If you want to start a software company, get a new project, invest in the infrastructure, hardware, software, and the latest network. Lack of proper tools. See, sometimes we choose the wrong technology. Suppose I am doing a project in Java. In the midway, I realized that if I would have chosen .NET, I would have by now completed the project successfully and delivered to the client. Client does not worry about .NET or Java. Like at the end, the speed, performance matters, and the quality. So always invest some time in the planning phase of the project. If you ask me this question, I will invest 13 to 15% in the planning phase. Somebody will say 10%, somebody will say 25%. It depends. For me, the standard is 13 to 15%. This is the industry standard. Research has shown. Invest in the planning phase and then plan what technology you want to use, what tools you want to use. Make the right choice and then you will be happy. One wrong choice, you are gone. Similarly, the choice of wrong SDLC methodology. Why IT projects are failing in India? If you ask me, for the waterfall project, I choose Agile. For the Agile type of projects, I choose waterfall. I choose the wrong model. From the start, I am wrong, and then I suffer. So, suppose understand the requirement of the client, understand the budget, time, scope, understand your strengths and weaknesses of your company. Okay, keeping everything in mind, then decide. Keeping the market conditions, the current state of technology, then decide whether you want test-driven development, TDD, Agile, waterfall, semi-agile, semi-waterfall, prototype, what model you want to use. Inadequate input from the client. See, you cannot always say that you cannot blame the client that you have not given me the full inputs and that is why the project went fail. Okay, it is your mistake not to gather the entire information from the client. You might not have asked him. See, if you will not ask him, he will not give you the answer. You have to ask the right questions. You have to clarify all the requirements. Get all the inputs from the client. See, you can always say, boss, you are not giving me the input, I cannot start your project. Don't start the project without getting the adequate inputs. And then later on blame the client. So, lack of risk analysis and mitigation. See, most of the times what happens nowadays, we are doing risk management just in the name. Just like a PMP, risk management, we just do that in the name. We never invest time and effort in actually analyzing the risk, the current risk, technical, business, functional, any risk or future risk which may come. What is the priority of each risk? How to mitigate each risk? What each risk can do to a client's business? How much impact they can do, the impact analysis. We don't do all this nowadays. It's very bad. See, there can be a risk which may even destroy the business of the client. It can lead to loss of, say 80% loss of revenues. So invest say 10 to 15% of your time in doing risk analysis and mitigation. It's very important, especially for a large project which have millions of dollars invested. If you are not very comfortable with risk management, hire a risk manager. There are separate people who do risk management only for IT industry. Lack of timely feedback from the client. See, most of the times we say that client is not giving the feedback because we are not showing the progress to the client. See, unless I show the progress to the client, how can he give the comment or the feedback? Okay, it's a recursive cycle. Show to the client, get the feedback, improve. Show to the client, get the feedback, improve. And then you will be successful. So always have constant feedback from the client. Don't keep him in the dark. Client should know at any point of time what is the state or the health of the project. Lack of security and scalability. See, if I am writing a project or a software, I complete it on time, good. I complete it within the budget, good. I meet all the requirements, basic functionalities, good. But if my project or the software is not scalable or not secured, it's all a waste. What is the point in developing Facebook.com if anybody can hack Facebook? So if a project is not secured nowadays, or if it is not scalable for future requirements, it is a waste. No matter if I develop it within the time or before time or in the less budget, whatever. So always keep security and scalability in mind. Because nowadays most of the products are failing because they lack security and they lack scalability for the future. Lack of rigorous testing. We always say we have done the testing. I have my testing team which has 10 testers from IITs. That is not enough. See, not only manual testing, you have to do automated testing, unit testing, smoke testing, system integration. All the testing phases are very important. Testing should be really rigorous, not just in the word rigorous. You can do penetration testing, you can use tools like Fiddler, you can use JMOC technology, HTTP unit, JUnit, especially for website testing. So testing is very, very important. There is a very big important saying, a product which is not tested well is not a good product. See, if I make a car, I don't test the car on different type of roads, good road or bad road. What is the point in having that car? So testing should never be underestimated by any manager or architect. It is as important as development. Testing should be very, very rigorous. Nowadays, projects are failing because they are not tested well. You know about electronics. You say electronic item I buy from some grey market, it fails. Why? It is not tested well. Above all, lack of unity in your team can make or break a project. See, if your team is not synchronized, if one team member thinks in one way, other team member thinks in the opposite direction. See, I am not saying there should not be difference of opinion. Everybody has a right of opinion. Like, suppose I want to draw a use case diagram, or I want to draw a ER diagram. I give this task to each of my team member. Everybody will come with their own use case diagram, with their own ER diagram. Okay, then I will combine all the diagrams and see which is the best one and finalize or freeze the best one. So everybody should be in the limelight. Everybody should have a difference of opinion. But there should be no ego clashes. At the end, team should be united. See, first month, 1 month it is okay, differences are there. But in the second month, everybody should be united now. It's not like the whole year ends and my team is not united. People have differences. People don't understand each other's expectations. People are not comfortable talking to each other even. I've seen all this. See, like a cricket match, ICC or a World Cup, if India wins because unity is there. So unity in the team is very, very important, and it depends in the hands of manager. How he unites the team, how he sorts out the differences. See, there can be a team member from IIT or MIT, and there can be a team member from a private college. They have to work together on the same project. It's me as a manager who have to sort all the differences and make everybody happy and united. So that's end of my slide. Lot of things I wanted to say more, but because of lack of time, I could not keep in the slides. There are many, many more things apart from what we have discussed nowadays, because see, just by knowing the bookish way of MBA in project management or PMP or any other certifications, Prince2, or I'm not saying that certifications are not good, but at the end of the day, if there is no unity, if there is no common sense, everything is a waste. All degrees are waste. So be very practical, use your common sense at all times, and then drive your project to success. So if there are any questions, like, we can discuss.